1 extra hour a day focused in one field, not a big, broad field, but a narrow one. 5 years from now, you'll know enough about that field and be good enough with it that you will be considered a serious player.
All right. How much time does it take to become an expert in anything? 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Yeah, that'll work. 1 extra hour a day focused in one field, not a big, broad field, but a narrow one. 5 years from now, you'll know enough about that field and be good enough with it that you will be considered a serious player.
Now, I got to add to that, though, because there is the rumor that it's 10,000 hours. And I believe, I didn't read it, but the Outlier book from Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah. And also they say Thomas Edison, some people say 3,000 hours, some people say 10,000 hours. I think these numbers got mixed up somewhere, but
I don't think that's a scientific number.
Yeah,
I think it's a good guideline. And if you look at, my 400 free speeches and all those nights of driving to JC's meetings in the evening, sometimes 4 hours one way, and then sleeping in a roadside park on the way home in my car so I wouldn't die from a traffic accident, and speaking in fire stations while people are sitting on the running boards of fire trucks, speaking in living rooms, speaking in bars with noise over there, speaking in poor lighting, speaking in cold church basements or hot tents, where people have to get a paper plate and fan themselves to keep from heat stroke. Speaking where one guy showed up and we were expecting 20 or 50. Speaking where there are many, many, many people and they don't have a good sound system. When a guy came up to me in Philadelphia, in Towanda, Pennsylvania, and he said, "Do you really need a microphone tonight?" And this was like half an hour before the speech. And I said, "No." He said, "Phew," which means he didn't arrange for one. I said, "No, I don't need a microphone. I will hear everything."
That's funny.
And I let that sink in. And then he went, "Oh my gosh." He said, "They won't hear you?" I said, "Not very well. This microphone's not for me, it's for them." He said, "Well, can't you just project?" I said, "Yeah, but the first 5 minutes I'll wear my voice out and they won't be able to hear me. I'll be too hoarse." He said, "Oh my God, I've got to go get a microphone." I said, "Well, get a neck microphone, a lavalier." And because this was when they were all on a wire. And he said, "Okay." And he came back with this, a full-size radio microphone on a stand.
That's funny.
And it had I swear this is true, it had a shoestring tied to it so I could put it around my neck.
That's crazy.
I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Well," and I said, "Just forget it." And I just held it in my hand.
That's funny.
So if you don't endure the pain, if you don't go through all the difficult times, you can't be good all the time. People say, "I'm a good speaker. I just need someone to book me." No, if you're a good enough speaker, you'll be able to book yourself. And if you can't book yourself, you should only do occasional speeches for others because you're not going to have a career as a speaker. You've got to book your speeches. Mm-hmm. And you got to be a good speaker when the room catches on fire. I've had that happen.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second, actually.
You got to be a good speaker when the audience is ticked off at the guy who called the meeting. When the guy before you announced the death of the most beloved person in the company. You got to be a good speaker when the circumstances are horrible. Otherwise, you're not ready to get paid yet.